Guys, if you guys don't know who Bomba guy, aka SloppyWalrus is,
Bomba.
he's the Gragas one-trick, right? The Dutch Gragas main, amazing content creator, and we're gonna be coaching him. I think he's currently on a grind to climb to high elo, so let's see what's up.
Every move you made, I was watching you.
If you are serious about improving and climbing to your desired league rank, you're in the right place. This year, I've worked on laying out 2 courses that will help you in all aspects to improve. One is about all the fundamentals for the laning phase, and the other one goes in depth on tempo and the mid to late. I've been Challenger for 7 years and I can guarantee you that this will massively speed up your process and reaching any goal that you have set in mind. Both courses have a preview video where you can see the style of the videos, so check those out before anything. You can also always join my Discord to check out some reviews. Alright, let's get into the video.
Okay, could you send me your OP.GG? And we start off there, and then we just dive into the 3 votes that you sent me.
Yeah, I have multiple. Like, what do you want to see? Do you want to see them all?
I mean, maybe the one where you're like full tryharding on. I think that one is like the important one.
Yeah.
So, walk me through it. What do you feel like are your strengths currently as a player, and what do you feel like are your weaknesses in terms of climbing? You play top and mid as well, or mainly top? Actually, mainly top, right?
Yeah, mainly top recently. I've kind of just switched to top lane. I mean, originally I'm just a Gragas mid lane one trick, but I've just switched to top lane because I think Gragas mid is so bad in this meta. You just get outclassed by every mage, every meta mid laner basically.
Okay.
So I just switched to top lane because there, as a top laner, you kind of fulfill the role better. Like in terms of team fighting. And if you're useless, you're still gonna team fight. You're still gonna win that way.
Yeah.
And in mid lane, if you fall behind, you're just gonna be useless, and everybody hates playing with a useless Gragas in mid lane.
Yeah.
That's my experience.
No, I think Gragas is a much better top lane champion than in mid lane. I don't think your champion does 2-on-2. I mean, I think Gragas as a champion prefers to play into melee champions, right? More so than the range champions, which you'll find more in top lane.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I see you basically play the same setup almost every game, where you go Ludens and Phase Rush Resolve. It's just like your own playstyle. You feel like this is optimal right now? Because you're into Inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of switch things up every now and then because I'm a one trick. And because Gragas is so versatile, you can kind of switch things up a lot.
Yeah. Is it matchup dependent? Because here I feel like you go Phase Rush, Inspiration, Everfrost every game, and then here you switch it up again. Is it just matchup or how you feel?
No, it's just how I feel mainly.
Okay. So before I go into the game, I want to ask you a few questions that I just always ask before scouting it out. My philosophy in top lane, especially for the early game, is that your first 4 waves matters the most. I always talk about this. So if you think back to some of your recent games, like if your first 4 waves go well, your game feels very nice to play, and similarly, if it goes wrong, it feels very awkward to play. However, Gragas as a champion cannot look for priority in most of your matchups.
Exactly. I struggle with that the most, the first few waves, and then I just always get caught in like a super sticky, like awkward situation where my wave is slow pushing to enemy is Irelia. I'm fucked because, you know, Irelia is a monster at wave management and she can just run you down and you, like, when you're behind in that way, or you get ganked, you know, top lane.
Yeah,
usual.
It's hard to play. I think the hardest part for Gragas is definitely level 1 to level 5. I think if you get your first reset, you get your lost chapter, you're completely fine. So how do you approach jungle tracking in the early game? Do you track the jungles in the early game?
Sometimes.
Okay. So
yeah, that's not really what I focus on all the time, honestly.
Okay, so that's what I dive into, and so my second thing with learning how to play the first waves, of course you're more limited because of your champion, but my goal in the early game as a top laner is more so to play my waves around both junglers instead of only looking at the matchup. I do understand that you're gonna get pushed in maybe 7 out of 10 matchups, but it's still very important to learn to track junglers in the early game, and that's true. There's 2 habits to track junglers. Right, the first habit is knowing what side they start on. So if you know at what, for example, right, if this is you, and we want to know how the junglers are battling in the early game from red side, the ward that I usually go for is going to be this one. The main reason as to why is because regardless of where enemy jungle is starting, you should know whatever he's up to. So if enemy jungle is starting here, you know, obviously you know he's not starting blue buff, he's going to be ending up clearing into top side, unless he does a very weird clear, right? And similarly, if he's going to path away from you, you also have that information. You can also see if your opponent is leashing, stuff like this. Now the biggest thing to, and then the second habit, so know what side to start, and then the second habit is every time a jungler shows on the map, we press tab to count CS, plus maybe check items / hover camera to see HP. Are you familiar with how jungle counting or CS tracking works? Like tracking the jungle CS?
Yeah, every camp is 4.
Exactly. So if enemy jungler Exactly, right? It does 3 camp into bot or 3 camp into mid with the red buff. You know he's 12 CS and he's gonna end up coming into top side, right? Let's say a jungler then shows here again, 28 CS, tries and ganks mid again, and the mid gank fails or whatever, but you see 28 CS. Where should enemy jungler go to? Back to base and back into bot side, right?
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense, right? Because that is 28 CS, means he's done every single camp, including Scuttle, because that would bring you to 28, and then he recalls. But that is the most, I would say, standard setup, right? That's what you see very often. A jungler fluke to 28 CS, they recall, they go back to the other side where they started on. So again, if we know what side they start on, and we keep tracking their CS, we should know the tempo of enemy junglers. And this helps us make our plans around our waves, because ultimately, if you want to contest the bounce, it's very tricky unless you know where enemy jungler is at, right? And the goal that we want to try and achieve is learn how to manage our waves and our trades, knowing when we're strong side, weak side, knowing to play our waves with our jungler, but also to avoid enemy jungler and then have that in harmony. That's like the end goal. So you see here, I'm a lot more focused on junglers instead of only looking at my 1v1 matchup in isolation.
Yeah, I think so as well. I always just try to focus on the wave, but I don't think about the jungler as much, I think.
Yeah, so that's one thing we're definitely going to be looking at into the games too. Then a second question I have is, do you know your level up timers in the early game out of the top of your head?
The timers, or
Yes.
you mean like minion counts?
Yes, so let's say level 2, how much XP do you need for level 2, level 3, level 4?
7 minions, level 2.
So it would be first wave plus 1 melee, right? Did you know it's actually also first 5 minions plus 1 melee? Because melee means give more XP than casters. So you can get level 2 from this as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and level 3?
Level 3 is third wave, but then first 3 minions, I think.
First 2 melees. And level 4, it's not that important, but it's still important to know the timer. It's first 3 waves plus 3 melees and 1 caster. And these timers are super important to know, because if we want to master our first 4 waves, we should also know exactly when we get our level up timers, not only for ourselves, but also for our opponent, because if they get a level up timer and you trade during the level up timers, you can really shoot yourself in the foot, right? Let's say, I don't know, you're playing against an Irelia, and you E into her, but that's exactly when she gets level 3, then you might die from that, right? And then next goes to, it's not that important in the early game, but try and sync our cooldowns with level up timers. Other than that, I don't have too much things to talk about before heading into the games. Do you have any questions before we go into the votes?
Not yet, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the questions will come with the votes.
Okay.
I do have to say though, like these games that I submitted are mainly just about the laning phase, wave management, jungle tracking.
That's
like you
perfect.
said,
Yeah.
and less about late game, because I do end up winning all these games, but I think I played very poorly at the laning phase.
Yeah, that's
of that
good.
game.
Yeah, we just focus on laning phase then. So when loading screen, I already make like a kind of a plan for myself. So what's going through your mind when you see this loading screen? So I'll just do it for the first game, and then the second game you can tell me what you're thinking about, okay? I see a Kindred jungle against the Lilia jungle. And Kindred is a lot more aggressive and like stronger in the early game than the Lilia is, right? Lilia tends to full clear, whereas Kindred can do everything. He can do level 3 ganks, he can go for invades, he can go for full clear as well, right? You don't really know. In terms of 2v2, I think you lose because you're both kind of weak. Actually, no, it's even, right? Depending on how it gets played out.
Yeah,
but the most
I think
important,
it's even.
the most important thing is you're playing against a Lilia, so you're not too scared of early game dives or like early game jungle ganks, because most of the time they're going to be full clearing. It's never good to assume, but that's kind of like what they're going to be doing most of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the matchup in isolation in the early game?
Aatrox is way more aggressive into Gragas. He's gonna like perma push into me. I also see he has Conqueror Resolve, so I check his runes to see if he has double tenacity runes. If he has that, then I can't just like freely E into him all the time. Otherwise he can like fight back like instantly.
Yep.
But yeah, generally speaking, it's a losing matchup. But I think I can win it if I just outskill him.
Yeah, I mean, after first recall, it becomes a lot more manageable, right? I think D-Ring is your correct setup, and he's probably playing double tenacity. I see you tracking it.
I think
Okay, no, he
he
doesn't.
actually didn't have it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he didn't have it. Vanur, that greedy bastard.
Okay, so what is your plan here with the early game? So what I like to do, again, is look for the early game ward. They had Akali, Lilia, right? So what I do on the red side, I actually didn't go over this. If you have a winning matchup, but it's not going to happen as Gragas, you can path here and look for a ward here or here, right? You don't have that opportunity this game. You're playing against Akali, Lilia. What I would do is just walk here, see if you can scout anybody, and then you can ward here, and if you feel a bit safe, you can ward over the wall and ward here. Ultimately, again, knowing where Lilia starts kind of allows you to have a better understanding of how to manage your waves as well. You cannot do
Okay.
this every game, but against Akali Lilia, I'd feel pretty safe walking up here and getting my ward down.
Yeah, I do that always when I play mid lane.
Yeah.
I never do it when I'm top lane.
Okay, well, same thing, right? Because it just allows you to play
Yeah,
lane.
pretty much.
You go W start or Q start in this matchup? Very Q start, right?
Q.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just need to be able to play safe and farm,
Okay.
even though it costs a lot of mana.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. And I mean, early game is just very generic, right? Don't you think you can be... So what my goal would be here is to try and auto-attack these minions as often as you can as well. Ultimately, the goal here is to try and delay this guy's crash by thinning out the minions as much as possible. Because the more minions you kill before the wave reaches your turret, the easier it's going to be. Or like the faster you can play out the bounce as well. The less time he has to reset.
Yeah.
And maybe you can even
Yeah.
hold the wave in this pocket, which is what I refer to as like... Okay, the happy spot. This is the happy spot for
Yeah.
top lane. And the reason as to why is because you're never gankable here, and you force your opponent to stay in the lane. So if you can find the scenario where you can thin out this wave and hold it here, of course, without losing all your HP and mana, it's very beneficial for you. So whenever he's like uses Qs or everything like this, and especially at level 1 where you can punish you more, I'd be looking to stand here, right? Because I think he used all 3 Qs here. Let's look at the level 1. Use Q2.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think you can definitely like
But
play a little bit more.
I think if I push now and he decides to just last hit, it's gonna slow push into him now.
You don't
and
want
then
to
I'm
push.
fucked.
That's true. You don't want to push.
Yeah. But I think if I start hitting the minions now, I'm pretty sure it's gonna start pushing.
Okay, so I think if you hit these minions here, you're completely fine.
Okay.
Ah, I see your point too, though. I see your point because he's actually not
Yeah,
hitting the
like,
minions at all.
it's pretty
Oh,
even.
yeah, I see your point. Yeah, if he's
I,
not
I-
hitting,
I always
yeah.
I
Sorry.
always try to be in the happy spot, like you were talking
Okay,
about.
good, 'cause
So I
that-
focus on the main part. of the
Exactly.
lane phase.
But yeah, you're right. He's also not really hitting the minions at all. So I actually agree with your point here. Yes, that if he's not hitting the minions, then you shouldn't match it. If he's hitting, then you match it. So that is also one thing you look for, right? But you're totally right. He actually was not hitting the wave. So I think what you did is good.
Okay.
Okay, I mean this is perfect. Wave slow pushing into you, but he can't really punish you. Lovely. Oh, we get traded here. We lose half our HP for the caster. Oh, yeah, that's awkward. I mean, we could talk about this, but it was just like a me and that was not worth it, right? That's all. But I think you realize that for yourself as well, so it's all good.
Yep.
So what's currently going through your mind? I see Lilia's ganking mid here, or even invading here, right? These are the moments where I instantly press tab, so you can know for a fact where Lilia started and where she's gonna go next, just by pressing tab here. And like hovering your camera, right? If she has a rep buff with 16 CS, that means she's done, I don't know, these 3 camps and like maybe this are in gank here, right? So just by pressing tab and hovering your camera, you know exactly what the Lilia's done here. That's why it's such a good habit to have, because ultimately you also know where the Lilia's gonna go next.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yeah, that is interesting. I never do that. Like, just never.
Because right now, Lilia died. I have no idea where she's gonna go. Is she gonna come top side? Is she gonna go bot side? No clue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I like that you stick out of the EXP range. I think you're
Yeah.
just playing completely fine here. The wave is pushing into you, and we're probably gonna utilize just to collect this wave and then use our TP to play out the bounce here, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because I'm running as well.
Yeah. They're completely fine early laning phase. If the wave is pushing into you, you can stay here. And then, I mean, you're completely fine here. He gets level 6. As long as we don't die, you're completely fine again. Oh, what happened here? How do we die?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, this is just reset TP. And then we're chilling, right?
Yeah. I didn't think he would go for it.
Oh, he played like this. Okay, that was well played by him too. I mean, is there a
Yeah.
way where we could have gotten our TP earlier? How much is still low strap is? 1100 now, right?
Yeah, 1100.
And do you
so I
play
stuck
Futures
around for
Market?
it. No.
Okay, I think if you just reset here, just queue this and reset, you're fine.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I see that now as well.
But I'm also kind of talking in hindsight here, right? You just have to be very clutch in your decision here. You know for yourself as well, as long as you get that first reset off, you're completely fine. I know it's kind of like tempting to stay here because you're already behind in CS, but it would just be so much better for you to just actually recall here, yeah. Okay, we
Yeah,
lost
I
some tempo
agree.
here, that's it. But you know that for yourself as well. So you decide to hard push here. Is that just a thing you do for, how would I say this? Intuitively? Or what is the logic behind you hard pushing here?
I want to just reset the wave to neutral position or like, you know, the happy position.
Yeah, make it
as
bounce
fast
back
as I
into
can.
you. Exactly. So yes, it
Yeah,
is correct to hard push here.
Okay.
But yeah, what I very often I want to verify it with you because people or League of Legends very often people do stuff intuitively, right, without logic. But it is 100% correct for you to hard push this so that the wave bounces back into you. And
Yeah, because the upcoming wave is also just not even close yet, so I can do it freely without Aatrox being in lane.
yeah, what I want to say is it could be okay for you to like to pressure him a little bit on the turret, but you don't want to hit the wave so that it bounces back, which you did, so it's good. And now you can just collect again. What I always say in these kind of timers, it's really important because currently the wave is pushing towards you, right? But afterward, it is going to guarantee pushback away from you again as well. So always be very careful with how you utilize your HP here as a resource, because if you like drop below half your HP, it's probably going to be impossible for you to play out the bounce as well. Again, I have.
So
Yeah.
one thing I noticed here is that Aatrox has CDR shoes and zero
If
tenacity and
anybody
runes.
flames my wall,
So
I'm permabanning you.
I was
Yeah.
like talking about that a lot on stream.
Yeah.
So I will be able to fight him like in melee range once I'm strong enough.
Yeah.
Like, super easy.
Yeah, because he can't. His E is not valuable enough now, right? Or sorry, your E doesn't get stopped too much because he has no tenacity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can just hit him and he can't hit me back
Yeah.
at some point.
Okay, I mean this is greedy by him too. He has no flash. He has not looking at the jungler, so this is perfect. Okay, nice. He has no TP as well, so you just hard push this out, and I really like that you recall too. You don't stay for plate here because if you stay for plate here, you would lose out on this wave and he gets a plate as well, right? So I mean, thus far, I think you've made a lot of good decisions. I feel like you're playing this game pretty clean. It's just only the one reset timer that you missed out on, right? But I think you're destined to fall a bit behind in CS here in the early game, and I think we can like try and be very close to see how you could have maybe managed that better. But I think you did a really good job in terms of your decisions every time. I think you hard pushed when you were supposed to. I think you recalled when you were supposed to. Besides that one miss reset timer, and that's the one that led to your death. But other than that, I think you've played really, really good.
Okay, that's nice. No, I wasn't like 100% sure about all that because
Yeah.
the death did feel bad.
Okay, yeah, the death felt bad, but that's because of a missed reset timer. That's all.
Yeah.
That is generally speaking also going to be like the harder, in that sense, fundamental term. And the reason as to why is because reset timers are so situational. So because they're always going to be situational, it's going to be the harder one to master too. Okay, I think you've played a pretty good laning phase thus far. Aatrox oversteps. It's a good skirmish for you. Yeah, the one thing here is that we're by default losing in this skirmish, right? Like, Akali's moving here to this here, so like, by us moving for the skirmish, you always have to be super aware of this, because right now we're already 0-1 behind, because you're losing out on a full wave here. If the skirmish goes well, we're 1-1. If the skirmish goes wrong, you're going to be 0-2. So then it's like really GG for you. So you're always going to be really careful in these type of scenarios, like, do you actually want to take the skirmish here? Because it is going to be a 3v2 skirmish. I can't say in advance right now, but how do you feel like your odds are here with Akali moving too?
I think I didn't really want to do all this.
Okay. And another thing we should definitely be doing before joining the skirmish is checking people's items. I feel like we're barely pressing tab. So before I would go for a skirmish like this, I would want to see how strong is the Akali, how strong is this Lilia, so I can actually know how much damage output they're going to do as well. So right now, I feel like we're kind of going in blindfolded, right?
I only know Aatrox, basically, what he got.
So I would say this is a bad skirmish, by default.
Yeah.
We didn't know their items, we didn't know how strong they are, and we lost the wave. And now the other issue is that this wave is going to slow push away from us.
Yeah.
Right?
This was terrible.
Yeah. So now we come back to an awful wave state. We lost a full wave. You
think I should just let Yon die there, basically?
Well, I don't think you let Yon die there. I think you spam ping him away. Because right here, what he's doing is really good. But the Aatrox has full tempo already. And Kindred is here, so you are like playing in a weak side quadrant. Akali's moving too, you ping him away right here. But you ping to go in.
Yeah, he can still walk away here.
Yeah, he can just walk away and it's fine. He chose to go in. I think also because of your ping. I just think this is a super hard skirmish to play. I don't really think it matters how you play it out. I just think the intention of the skirmish is wrong because we didn't know how strong they were. But like, look at here as well, right? Akali's actually super strong. The Lilia probably just came back from a reset, so this was just a bad skirmish to take as well. And again, like I said, right? We're already 0-1 behind because we lose the wave, plus the wave will slow push away from us afterwards. And if the skirmish goes well, or like somewhat well, we're like even, right? And if the skirmish goes wrong, it's 0-2. Right now, I would say it is like, I don't know, 1.5 bad and like, I don't know, or let's say 2 bad or 2.5 bad and like 1 okay. So you still lose out on a lot here in terms of like resources and wave position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But that was a more so situational awareness over anything. And again, the habits here to take away is pressing tab a lot more to check CS at the junglers and check items too. Every time you do that, you'll be way more ready for any skirmish happening. Oh, so you're fighting him here. You check this item. Okay, he doesn't have gore drinker. Lovely.
Think I should try to hold this wave, or...
No, never.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, good attempt. You have face rush still? Oh, he dodged the E. So did Edge.
Yep.
Oh,
Was
the
I
Ash
there?
arrow. The Ash arrow. It's coming. Oh. I mean, the Kindred ends up cleaning it up, probably. Lovely.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
that
close
was
though,
poorly played by me.
but this is a mechanical play, so like we can talk about it, but again, I don't think this is anything to do, like in a different game you land either, so it's completely fine. Nothing we can work on like for habits. Really good E timing. The Herald's gonna kill the Kindred.
Yeah.
Okay, he smurfed it. Well, we got a double kill. This was really good outcome for you, and I think recalling here is good too. The wave is pushing to you. Laning phase does kind of end here. How do you feel like your laning phase went?
Just I think laning fundamentals itself, wave management, like you said. I probably played fine, or like as good as I probably could.
Yeah.
But then I made some poor decisions, which just kind of put me further behind, because I'm already kind of behind because of the matchup, right?
Yes.
Like 30 CS behind by default. But then those mistakes put me even further, and if I avoid that, I don't know, it would just be so much better.
Yeah, I think your reset timer, the only thing was the reset timer. Other than that, it's good. But again, the habits to work on is definitely pressing tab for items, like not only your opponent, but keep checking items everywhere across the map so you know what skirmishes to look for and what skirmishes to avoid, and to counter CS every time, especially in the early game.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions about this game? I think it's pretty easy, right?
Yeah, I think we went over everything. Because like after this, I'm pretty sure I just started stomping Aatrox in side lane.
Yeah, you're so strong right now. And in terms of reset or like item purchases, you know that 10 times better than me. I don't really play Gragas, so I'm not gonna comment on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we play against Ranked and Lilia, and we have a Jarvan jungle. So I like this setup here, right? Simply because we have the more aggressive jungler again. So that also makes it a bit easier to play in the early game. Again, Ranked and Lilia, I would be always looking for my war down right here.
Okay.
If I sub, can you say Bomba? Yes. Yeah, let's focus. So here, what is your plan? I mean, you're just always gonna get pushed in, right? And also, one thing we can look for here, though, is what is your thoughts on this Jarvan starting position?
He's gonna path bot. I mean, that's my only thought so far.
Most likely, right? But when they start Raptors, what junglers very often do is they can do like Raptors, Rep buff, Krugs, and top gank. Unless he does Raptors, Krugs, and then Rep buff, right? So he has the opportunity to look for a third gank top lane here too. So what I would do in your shoes here is also keep close attention to what the Jarvan is doing, because if you can trade a little bit of eco HP with the ranked in here, you might set up a kill opportunity. Just because the pathing of your jungler here.
Okay. What I usually try to do in this matchup, just like outside of the Jarvan situation, is just avoid trading early game, because Renekton is just so much stronger than Gragas early.
Yeah.
And just get to the point of Lost Chapter, basically.
Yeah.
Just basically, that's how any matchup goes. Some matchups you can trade more, but a lot of the time you just want to avoid trading on Gragas because you just run out of mana and then you can't farm. It is good to keep track of that, yeah. If the jungler is near, I should trade with him, possibly.
Yeah, because if let's say you lose half your HP, he loses half his HP, then he's probably dead here, right? Just because of the jungle pathing. That's all though. What the hell is that? It's disgusting skin.
It's Gragusi.
Oh, I see. I don't even see your auto attacks. So here, you definitely had the opportunity to trade a lot more, right? And you see that would have maybe set up a trade window here with Jarvan ending up being topside with level 3. Also here,
if I start
what I would do in your position is definitely hold the wave here a little bit with HP and allow this next wave to like path here so you keep it in the happy spot. I would really try to avoid letting these minions walk into the turret.
Okay.
Because if it crashes into the turret here, then I think it's just going to be a lot easier for Rankton to just get to crash, right? You could definitely hold this. You lose a little bit of HP, but you have your passive, you have 2 potions, completely fine. Holding outside of the turret here just a little bit allows it so Rankton can never really look for trades onto you anymore, and you can hold it here for probably the next 2 waves as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know.
Because now you enforce the bounce already to happen really fast, especially if you allow his 3rd wave. It's not happening here. It shouldn't happen. That like his next wave also walks into turret range, right? That can be a threat as well. Because that happens, but you see now the bounce is actually already happening. Whereas if you let more minions alive here, then his next minion wave would come as well, and it would continuously keep pushing into you. That makes sense, right? So now the wave's already bouncing as early as possible. So I would avoid allowing him to get the second wave crash. Now, Lilia's ganking bot. This is, of course, a level 3 bot lane gank. So we can already know that at least this Lilia is going to reset and come into top side. That's why I also don't like that this wave is bouncing this early.
Yeah, it's like a nightmare situation.
Yes.
Especially versus the next one.
So him doing this is really good for you.
Yeah, I know. He ints there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he pushes it all the way, but I think maybe he does.
You can try in these scenarios also to bait, like you stand here and you bait Renekton to queue all these minions, so the wave guaranteed pushes into you, right? It's good for you to try and trade a little bit of HP as a resource to make the wave push back into you, because ultimately, if this wave starts bouncing to Renekton, you're gonna end up losing so much more resources. So I would really look for a scenario here where Renekton can maybe AoE the wave so it pushes into you.
Okay.
So, Lilia's coming topside. This is the annoying scenario. We could have avoided it two ways, right? We could have held the... So the first thing is we could have had it in the spot here. So then you would still be playing in this pocket right here, right? You see a big difference. That was... would be the result of you holding the minions here with your HP for a little bit, right? So you would have held it here. But now it's bouncing. So now you're in tricky scenarios. So what I'd be looking to achieve here is holding this minion wave here as long as possible in this pocket, because in this range, it should be hard for them to gank you, right? So what we want to try and achieve here is to allow this next wave that's about to spawn any second, so his minion wave as well, to walk as far into the lane as possible so that we can farm it in a relatively comfortable scenario where we are not gankable and still relatively close to our turret, so we can push it in a safe way and then look for a reset. That would be my goal here.
Okay.
And
I don't know exactly what I did here.
Yeah, because any hit you do extra, so only lasting at the latest frame is exactly what you want to try and do. You might even get a scenario where Renekton, look, he's pushing it into you back, okay? So this guy just wants to lose the lane, I guess. So that is good as well. So nice mind control. Well done. And now the way he's pushing back into you, you're completely happy you can skill for free. Okay, he gets level 4 by this minion. Right, so we avoid trades on that timer too, which is always important to keep that in mind, and now you're super happy. But this is more so Renekton messing up instead of us doing anything to do correctly here, right? But still, it's well done how you approached it.
If I played versus a good player,
he could make it bounce, and I'd be very scared here, right? You could get ganked here for sure. One thing I always like to do when you're playing in this pocket too is use this ward right here. Because what Renekton wants to do is, what should Renekton do in his shoes right now?
I would push if I was him.
Okay, so
at this exact moment.
You'd push this wave and look for a reset?
Probably. But I mean, I could be a jungler in that push if that's the case. He wants to trade with me here.
I don't think they can dive you. I think you're completely fine. Right? If I'm Renekton, you can either hard push this and reset, or slow push this, allow this next wave to walk in lane, hard push that, and then reset, right? Those are your options, kind of, as a Renekton. So, regardless, he wants to look for a reset, and that's why I want you to get a ward down right here, so you can try and mismatch his reset timer. If he pushes in this wave right now, right, and he looks to a reset, and you just collect the wave, but then you step forward and cancel his base, instantly it's like you force him to TP pretty much. Okay, so let's see how this plays out.
That makes sense.
I like this. Again, I would hold this wave with your HP for this next wave to come. So you make it hard for him to look for a reset as well.
Especially. I still have 2 potions. I'm so much higher health than him.
But now you're again forcing the bounce. But by holding this wave here, you could hold it here. Look how close the next wave is, right? So I would always hold it here. And then he has no E, so he can get close to you anyways. There's no threat. You lose your HP even if you drop to here, right? As long as you hold the wave here, you're good for the next 2 waves again. But now by letting this crash, it will bounce. Also, you're giving him a free reset by not looking to cancel it at all. So it's important to not only look at your perspective, but also start putting yourself in your opponent's shoes. Like, what is their intention? What do they want to achieve? And try to block that. Okay. Jarvan is full clearing bot. Lilia should be doing the same. And again here, Renekton is probably recalling in this push. That's why I would have wanted you to have that ward right there. So you should walk up and ward right here. If you cancel his base even once, you could probably get in this wave without having to recall. You have 2 biscuits. This guy is below half HP. He's struggling laning right now. You're about to get your second biscuit, right? I would ward right here. The wave is gonna meet right here. You're completely fine laning here. And look, you're gonna get your level 5 first too, which should probably allow you to get the crash on the next wave, if that makes sense. As long as you keep this ranked in the lane right now, right? Because if you continue laning here, I think you're in a good position. So here I think we did a lot of tiny tiny things that stack together wrong. First of all, we allowed this wave to bounce, but Renekton salvaged it by pushing it back into you. I think twice we could have helped the wave outside of turret with our HP, right? Which would have made it a lot harder for the Renekton to secure the crush or look for a reset timer, which kind of goes hand in hand, right? He always wants to reset after getting a crush. And then by getting your ward here, you could look to manipulate his reset timer, which would allow you to probably play out the bounce here for free. Okay, that all made sense?
Yeah.
Lovely. Oh, so he ends up staying. Quick little investigation. Okay, so you end up staying too. Where should Lilia be?
I think she cleared her top side, so she's either top or both.
Yeah, she's either top or like looking to recall right now, right?
Yeah.
So it's good. So we
I
gotta be
think
careful here on the bounce a little bit. But you know she has a good chance to be topside right now because we saw the Lilia doing a level 3 bot gank, right? Usually at 420, they would be already back in bot side because the Scuttle spawns at 330, right? The reason why your Jarvan is also so late is because he ganked mid. Okay, well, Renekton is pushing the wave into you again, so this is beautiful. And maybe one thing to talk about as well is, do you know how much gold a wave gives you, give or take?
Not exactly. I mean, like
Here's the Lilia.
100, 150 with a cannon mate.
Yeah,
Cannon wave.
Ketamine is give or take 200 gold. Normal waves give or take 130 gold because you also have to calculate the time you get from like the game itself while farming the wave, right? So here we have around, I don't know, 120 gold left. And next wave will give you 130 gold as well. So if you farm very efficiently here, you have enough gold to get your lost chapter after this wave and next wave. So that's one thing you can focus on here as well. And here again, I see the Lilia. I just want you to press them. He has 28 most likely, but I just want you to verify it. Because one thing that Lilia could do here as well is actually skip her recall. Because what camps of Lilia are these, right? These are only 2 camps that are up right now, in theory. Similar to Jarvan, these camps going to respawn.
Yeah.
So Lilia could look to gank mid here and then continue farming these and then actually come back into top side instead of recalling and then going back into top side. So I also want to really see what Lilia does here with her like reset and stuff. Let's see if we can farm perfectly here. Okay. Just let him crash. Right now you don't mind because you're gonna get your lost chapter from this. If we farm good. Okay, Lilia died. So Lilia is guaranteed going bot side. Again,
Okay,
warding
yeah.
here would allow you to stop him, and we need perfect CS here. So you get your lost chapter.
Almost perfect.
Yeah, you have it. You can sell one potion, you have it. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, well done. How do you feel about this early laning phase? That was a lot more tiny things that we could have done different, right?
Yeah, that was a lot more. That seemed like way harder to control, like especially in a real game situation, like if I was playing right now.
Yeah, but I think that... Yeah, sorry?
But it makes sense, everything.
Yeah.
Just
Here,
looking back at it.
here I would E forward to get an EXP range, because at the 5:15 timer, this wave gives you level 6 100% if you get all the EXP. So even if you
didn't
get
know that.
all the EXP right here, you're guaranteed to get level 6.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you shouldn't have lost a single
I
bit of
still get
EXP.
it.
Yeah, so you're level 6 here. That skin is so disgusting, man, these animations. I genuinely don't know how you play like this.
It's a good skin.
So now I would also utilize this level 6 pressure that you have to guarantee this crash. I actually want to look for trades here.
I think I did, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I would look to you get level 6 from this minion, boom, now you can fight, right? But I knew that. You did not know this actively.
I think I did. I mean, I engaged on him because of that.
Okay, fair. But that was actually still this caster.
But I didn't know about this wave.
Yeah.
I didn't know, like, before this, I didn't know that. But when I saw him, I was like,
Okay,
oh yeah.
yeah, okay.
I'm gonna level up.
Yeah, okay, good. So that is really well played by you, but like, okay, good. But yeah, you see, it's actually still that one caster here. That is from that wave. That gives you the level 6. And then, of course, the Bomba mechanics. Well done. We say it here. Also, maybe an interesting thing is, it's curious to see as well, why was Renekton not level 6? Because he should have also been close to level 6, right? He should get level 6 here. But he lost his 3 melees, and you did not. That's the difference here. He didn't TP. You did. So because he lost these 3 melees right here, that's why he actually did not get his level 6. Okay, he lost 2 melees. I don't know if he lost anything else in the lane earlier, but you see, because he lost those 2 melees, that's why he's just short of getting his level 6 here. So not only do we look at our own XP, yes. So I believe he literally needs 1 minion here to get his, oh wow, he's lost a lot. He got almost all melees here. He should have been level 6.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
When he like left lane, he was like, trying to recall, but then he stopped and he
okay,
lost
yeah, then he lost some EXP, right? So if you track that, that could have also led to you knowing that this was actually a kill window because he lost that EXP. But well done. Yeah, he gets, yeah, okay, you need 1 more minion. Okay, very good. And now you can queue in the center and just try and get this in. Lovely. Also, one thing to talk about here at this timer, it's good for you to look for trades as long as you can get this wave in. because at 6:05 to 6:15 the plant actually spawns in the river. So whenever you have priority at 6:05, 6:10 and you can get access to the river, it's very beneficial for you. So yeah, here it's...
Yeah, I've like talked about that with my Korean friend. He's like 1.5k LP Gragas main as well. He showed me that he just goes for like the most inst trade possible at that time, so he can get the plant.
Exactly.
Later.
So at this timer, just trade as much as you can, so you get, as long as you push in the wave and get access to the plant first, it's really hard for him to do anything.
Okay, 6:05, 6:15. I didn't know about that timer.
Yeah. So here, if you trade, like, let's say, right, to like here, of course you have to be careful as his ult, and he trades to here, or like whatever, like here, or even this HP value right now, right, and you just push this into this wave, you're gonna come back full HP. Lovely. So here I would actually look for the plant.
So just walk in river, even though the minions...
Yeah. These casters don't really matter. These casters don't really matter at all.
Okay.
Think we're dead? No, you have your E as well. Okay, nice. Yeah. Again, when we should have went for the plant there. That's it. That makes a difference. So now we lost a little bit of resources. Again, I hate this move. I would never move here. Personally. Actually, I mean, I can see it, but again, you're losing around 200 gold here. Plus EXP, so maybe 300.
I hated it as well.
Plus maybe 300 gold here, right? Because gold and EXP together. So I'd be really cautious with moving away from these kind of wave scenarios. Plus, your wave will slow bounce to your opponent here. So we're losing 300 gold instantly, but your minions are going to get halted here, and enemy minions are going to be walking up. So it is going to hard push towards your opponent as well afterwards. So I would never want to move here unless the play is like guaranteed to give you something. Okay, Akali just kills Lilia. So here you should already walk back. Right here. You can already decide right here this guy's completely dead. You don't need to do anything.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Just waste my time.
Yeah.
But I got the cannon minion.
Well done. Do you feel like it's a habit you have that you're like a very, I don't know, team player, that you move to those timers?
When I see someone like that, I kind of just want to help, yeah.
Okay.
Because I've experienced way too much that if I don't help at those places and my teammates die, they just lose their mind.
Yeah, okay, but then you're making bad decisions based off them potentially like exploding mentally. So you're like more so, how you say is, being a people pleaser instead of playing correctly for yourself. So always keep that in mind, that I would still be making the best decision for me in those scenarios and not doing something to please my teammates. Because it's a bad habit.
Yep.
Okay? Playing for your level 8 here. Okay, got level 8 as well. Well, your trade patterns are of course good. Good Gragos mechanics. Well done. You could ping a jungler here to maybe gank. Your jungler's top side. I just communicate with them. Again, that plant in the river should still be up. Oh, I saw what you're looking at.
Yeah.
You got the W.
It is what it is.
Okay. Yeah. Nice attempt. So we can talk about this, right? I think like the biggest thing that I would have done here is communicate to your jungler that this is a gank. Like if this guy comes here, he's 100% dead, right? So that's the only thing I think you could have done different.
And what about the wave in that situation? Like, just imagine I never trade with him. What should I do?
Well, what's happening with the wave right
let
now?
it push into me?
Yeah, it's pushing into you, right? So you're not forced to walk up.
Yeah.
So you don't even
because
have...
I trade with him,
yeah?
I kind of push because of that, right?
Well...
Like that bad as well? Or...
Then that depends where you're gonna position yourself too, right? So right here, this wave is guaranteed... Okay, so here, if you choose to not trade, this wave is guaranteed pushing into you. And you can still try to trade with him, but you gotta keep in mind that if you use your AoE on the wave, of course it's going to bounce back into him again. So you gotta make your own decision.
Do you think I should trade?
No, I think you should avoid trade because his flash and ult you don't. Also, I think here again, you should just let this wave bounce into you. You get the cannon and you look for the plant in the river. Imagine you get the plant right now. How can he play?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if you want to play
I
aggressive,
don't think about the plant enough.
Yeah, I would call you a jungler here. And I think when you should start trading again is when you have face rush.
Okay.
I mean, if your E lands, then of course you don't die, but that's hindsight too. Okay. Hard pushing is correct. I mean, laning phase is kind of whatever now. Not much to do this. I think this is also a result of kind of what happened, what was happening earlier, right? Like he's level 10 to level 8 because of our earlier deaths.
Yep.
I don't think you're forced to walk up here though, because this Herald would never kill your turret. But again, I think your teammates clear up here. So it's completely fine. Holy moly. Okay. Yeah, not much to say. I think laning phase ends here. How do you feel?
Yeah, this one was definitely way worse than last game.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So
I can see the mistakes that I made, but I think it'll be hard to apply it in like a real game, a live game.
Okay, I just think what you need to recognize for yourself is you know for yourself is you want to play in the happy spot, right? So how do you get to the happy spot? By keeping the wave from crashing. If he does a second wave crash, the wave will bounce. If he doesn't get the second wave crash, the wave will stay. In fact, I did that just in my own game earlier too. If I go to my own Twitch vault here, and you see here, it's the same concept, right? But I'm holding the wave here just outside of the turret range. Yes.
Yeah.
And my champion is even harder to do this than it is with Gragas.
Yeah, Gragas is super safe. But yeah, I would never go for this. Like, this looks so scary.
Yeah, but you can't really do much because I'm so close to my turret, right? And now as a result of this,
cool.
Look how long the wave stays here. Right, so I'm just able to farm continuously for in a super safe position. And it kind of neutralizes lane instantly.
Yeah, I should definitely do that. Just trade some health.
Yeah.
To just stay in the safe position, perma.
Yeah. And then it's completely fine. And then the same thing applied to later. I think that makes everything clear about this game, right?
I think so, yeah.
Lovely. Okay, one more Gragas game. Let's go. We're playing with the Graves, not so strong of an early game jungler. I'm not sure what our matchup is. I think that's your hardest counter, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit, red buff spawned.
Irelia hard counter, I don't know exactly. Only in terms of wave management, I think.
Okay.
And she wins extended trades, obviously.
I really hate leashing in general because multiple reasons. First of all, yeah, okay. So short leash is fine because when you leash, first of all, your jungler's gonna be pathing away from you, right? Plus, you completely concede the early game waves. Now, of course, most of the time with Gragas, you're going to be conceding waves anyways, but I would try and refrain from leashing as much as I can, honestly. Okay.
Just play for myself, perma.
Yep.
No matter how angry my jungler gets.
Well, yeah, if they're really persistent on a gank or they have like a plan, then you can leash, right? Because again, you can't really look for priority anyways. But I think just being aware of the fact that if you leash, you're kind of conceding your lane completely. But if that's your goal anyways in the early game, then I guess it's fine to do.
Yeah, these like 3 games we've watched so far, I kind of just sit back early and...
Yeah, but you're forced to because of the matchups, right? I think there's very few matchups where you can actually actively look for priority. Like maybe Camille
Gragas
or something.
doesn't really fight early.
Even Camille's tricky. Yeah.
I think watching this back, I should probably started queuing the wave before.
Yeah.
Like if you go like 10 seconds back, I should probably queue it here already, right?
You can, but I think it's already too big though. I don't really think it makes a difference. What you could do is like queue the wave and try like slow down the wave with your queues, right? But I think it's too tricky. I think this is guaranteed going to crash before this wave arrives. You can't really hold this. It's simply too big. If she lands E, you lose half your HP. So you're forced to let this crash, right? This is a scenario where you can't hold it. You see the difference too? She has all the cooldowns, right? This wave is a little bit too far away. You simply can't hold this. This wave is too massive. So I think here it's completely fine to make it crash.
Sure.
Yeah.
Lost cannon.
I blinked. I didn't see it. Oh, good.
Okay. And I was pushing to her again.
Yeah. So this is the tricky scenario. Did we see enemy jungle, actually? Oh, I level 2 gank mid. By the looks of it. I like level 3 ganking. No, that's a level 2 gank. Yeah, that's a level 2 Jarvan. That's ganking mid. Okay, so where's Jarvan gonna go next? Top side, right?
Yeah, the red buff, top side, yeah.
Very early top side clear here. So he could already be here.
Yeah, this is dangerous for me.
Yeah, this is your dangerous position. This is also the only risky position that you're gonna have. So yeah, exactly this is what you want to try and do. Push in this wave without dying. Never use your E here. Try to use your next Q again on the wave as well, and then probably look to reset. So I would push this faster. I think any second you can save to get this closer to her turret matters. As in this next wave is marching, right? So you want to really try and get this in before this wave comes. So I would probably Q here on the wave as well. Just to try and get this in like that a little bit faster. Can we see the Jarvan here? I would again press tab, move your camera, see what's going on. Okay, there we go. Checked.
Okay.
Is the blue buff?
But she's holding this, right?
Yeah.
She can always hold this.
Yes, there's not much you can do about it.
that.
Nothing you can do about this. The only thing we could have done maybe is try and thin out a little bit more in the early game, right? And by thinning out in the early game, we make it so this doesn't bounce that fast on this timer. Does that make sense? But here, like in this position, after the third wave crashes, there's nothing you can do about this. Okay, so we proc face rush. We're gonna have to flash this. Oh.
I was going to flash, but I guess I was just too late.
Yeah.
I was talking about that.
Let's see how we can play this differently. I think your intentions here are correct. I think your flash, it's okay. Regardless, we're just in the ship position, and that is as a result of how the early game played out too. Maybe one thing we can talk about is actually going into bot side here, but it's also tricky. Like walking away from the Jarvan here with your face rush, right? If you walk path here.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you flash, I think you're actually fine. The good thing is that they do push the wave into you, so they're sharing 1.5 wave of EXP here. So even though you die, it's not as bad as you as it feels, because them sharing 2 waves of full XP actually puts you around even, because you're always she just hit level 5, right? And you're gonna hit level 5 or like level 6 way before her. Again, ward this push if you can. Oh, a little greedy.
Yeah.
Oh, you got that. Okay. What do you want to do this wave? Hard push it, correct.
Push.
I think you're gonna be faster
Because she
on
has
this maybe.
TP.
Could we have been faster?
Hurts to watch.
That's okay. Can we hard push this? I mean, you could be pushing already. We're losing like 2 seconds there.
Yeah. 2 seconds.
But I see you're trying to see if she TPs or not, which I understand.
Yeah, I was
Just
like,
short
if
of
she
6.
TPs, she's gonna hold it no matter what.
Yeah. So, Alois sucks again. You need push out, but you're gonna get level 6. I would also communicate with your jungler that you're about to get 6, and your Grace is gonna cover you. Oh yeah, you pinged
Yeah,
it.
I
You
did
pinged
ping
it.
him.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, he pinged you. He pinged you.
I was pinging push wave.
Oh,
Ooh.
not really angle. But at least the wave is bouncing back into you now.
Yeah, I type it to him too.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, do you think I should follow up on that gank there?
No, there's
Probably
nothing you
not,
can do.
right?
You have no ult, nothing. What can you
Yeah.
do? She's about to hit level
Yeah,
6
Graves
as
just-
well.
Graves just showed up, like,
Yeah.
after the problem was already gone.
Yep. The only issue right now is that this wave is going to push into you, but it's also going to bounce away from you. So you're gonna have to just find a reset here ASAP. You Q this minions and you reset instantly. So the faster you reset here, the less you're going to lose in later too. So right here, W here, Q right here, and instantly start changing your recall. You just want to reset as fast as possible. So you lose less on this wave. Unless you want to stay, but yeah, exactly. You're gonna recall, right? So the faster you can get your recall
Yeah,
in,
I could have done it faster.
maybe like 3 seconds, right? 2-3 seconds. But it makes a difference in tempo.
Yeah, for sure. It
what do you
makes
wanna-
a difference.
What do you want to do on this wave? Where do you look at
Um,
first?
I think at the moment here, just only last hit and then push the next wave.
Yep, correct. That's exactly what I do too. Because here you're not really gankable, right? And then you hard push the next wave with your level 7.
Yeah, because this is gonna push anyways.
Yeah. Maybe one thing to look at as well is you can already start pushing right now. Right, you could already plant your Q right here and hard push it so that you have your cooldowns again on the next wave and can push that as fast as possible too. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the means would still almost reach here, which is where you'd want it to be. But now you kind of have to like spend a little bit of extra time pushing these means too. Okay, I guess we're just trading. It's all good. We have no face rush, so I'd be very careful.
Yeah. I tried to like fight her because I have ult up still.
Yep.
So if she gets too dangerous, I can ult her into tower. It works.
Your champion becomes a bit broken with Lost Chapter.
Yep.
Nice, well done. I mean, from here you just completely stabilize. She has no TP. What is the reset that you want? CDR boots?
I think I went Sork shoes this game
Okay.
because I have solo AP.
So what do you purchase here then? Like this could be a timer
I
where
think
maybe it's okay. Yeah, just
Book
book
and
Dark
Dark
Seal.
Seal.
Okay, that's a fine reset, I guess. That's still a good reset. Because if you want like a blasting wand or like sword shoes there, maybe it's better to actually stay and intro tempo a little bit for the plate, just so that you can get your good reset in.
Okay.
Yeah, I like holding this, just no flash. Okay, I mean, right now you're just controlling the wave as you are, right? Your jungler is playing bot side, enemy junglers are on top side, so you also have to respect quite a bit. I think not much is happening here anymore. And you get a fighting opportunity here. Good mechanics. Making the champion look fun to play. Okay. I think laning phase is kind of just chill here. I think the one very interesting thing to still look at is going to be level 1 actually again. Because remember how we were that early at the bounce timer and we like couldn't have done anything about it? I think if we're not leashing, maybe you also have more time to like prevent her from getting that third wave crash, if that makes sense. Right? Because you would have the chance to...
It's very crucial.
Right? So, because you're already weak side, and you're already going to be like in a ship position, I would probably not leash, and again, try to thin this wave out so that you can hold the wave in your happy spot. But if you leash, you're very often going to lose that opportunity.
I think I probably could have still done it here though. I did have a chance.
Yeah,
But that Q was really int, I think.
yeah,
I should just Q the wave now. Like after she kills the range creeps.
yeah. Yeah, we should try and thin out for sure. 100%.
Yeah, like here I can do it for free.
Yes, yeah, you should be queuing here. Yes, you're 100% right. I actually didn't notice this earlier. But yeah, this queue, like, probably like here, right? So you thin out
Yeah,
the wave, making it
oh.
easier to hold it for this wave, and then your lane would be completely different. You would never be in that bounce scenario later.
Yeah, that's good to know. I because I always end up in those situations against like any matchup. Really, that's like pretty strong early game.
Yeah,
Like against a Renekton, the same could have happened.
exactly.
But that Renekton from the previous game, he kind of just bailed me out. He pushed me. He pushed.
Yeah, he did the
Slippery.
second wave crash, but then he allowed you to play the game afterwards again as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Australia actually did the right thing, so I got fucked.
I think, generally speaking, what your goal is as Gragas is really mastering how to be as safe as possible in this first waves, right? So by utilizing this position and by learning how much you need to thin out in order to get this position here and holding it outside of the turret. Because if you can get, like, remember, if we hold the wave here after she tries to do second wave crash, you hold the wave here for the next two waves, right? If you hold the wave here for third wave crash, same thing happens and you're never gankable on the bounce timer. Because by the time the wave starts bouncing, the jungler should be bot side again. And then your lane is completely free. You skill to your Lost Chapter for free, right? So I would really be hammering on that. So learning how to really utilize the freezes here to get to that happy spot. In the Ajax games, you were kind of able to get there easily because he was never pushing the wave. But in this games, they were. So we definitely need to try and thin out a lot more. Other than that, I think learning to track the junglers more accordingly is going to allow you to know when to skirmish in general, or also when you should be maybe slow pushing or hard pushing, simply because you're aware of their tempo and their potential gank timers too more efficiently. Other than that, I think,
Yeah,
I mean, on your
I need to work
mechanics,
on-
on your mechanics.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry. You go, bro. You go.
Okay. I need to work on jungle tracking. I think that's my weakest point for sure. I understand wave management, but I still end up in awkward positions every now and then. But I understand all the concepts. I just need to actually apply them.
Yeah, and only be a little bit more like again those first four waves. If those go well, I think your entire laning phase goes well. Unless we
Yeah,
go for like
sure.
really grief trades, right? Like against the Rankton, we just went for bad fights and we died. But it's like in a different game that doesn't happen, so you're completely fine. And in fact, in that Rankton game, you were completely fine too. And what's it called? That level 6 timer on the wave at 5:15. If you have lost 0 EXP, right, you get level 6 exactly. And if you utilize that well enough, you also get tempo to go for the plant in the river at 6:15.
Yeah, 6:15. So it was 5:15.
Ish,
Level
that
6,
wave,
6.
right? Exactly, that wave that is there. Because it's a normal wave, and the next wave is going to be a cannon wave. You get level 6 on the second normal wave after the cannon wave.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I think I feel good about it. Yeah, I
Okay.
can definitely do this. Like apply this in my games.
Yeah.
I'll
As
be
it-
playing some solo queue after this for sure.
Okay, I'm
And,
curious to see how that goes.
I think the main thing, what I will do as well, is just pull the wave. If it pushes too hard into me, just hold it in a safe position.
Exactly.
And then I think it'll be so much easier to play.
Yeah, and then you just skill to your Lost Chapter, and then you do the Gragas thing.
Yep.
Alright.
Bomba.
Yeah, Bomba, bro. Alright, good luck in your games, and honestly, soon we should do another session, see how that goes.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay?
Whatever you want to do. Maybe
Alright.
even live coaching.
Yeah, we can do live coach, I'm down for that.
All right.
Alright, have an amazing
Thank
day.
you very much for your time.
Yo, likewise, bro. Thank you for your time as well.
Yes.
Good luck on the grind,
Goodbye,
and
man.
I'm curious to see how it goes. See ya, bro.
Yo, see ya.
See ya. Because that was a banger session, I believe. We were able to teach the Bomba guy a lot.